What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a weekly gaming news show, the podcast where gamers talk about the gaming news, and we are your hosts. My name is Trenell, and as always, I am here with the homeboy Todd. What's going on, Todd?
Yo, what's up? What's up? It's been a busy week.
Been a very busy week, yes.
But I'm here. We got quite a bit. I mean, we had Gamescom this week, so we had a lot of news coming out of there. So we got quite a bit to talk about. And yeah, I'm ready to go.
Ready to go. Okay, so if you're ready, then I'm ready. We hope that all of you guys are ready. We are live streaming on Twitch, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and Mixer, by the way. So if you're watching us live, we definitely appreciate you. Just so you guys know, our schedule was supposed to be, because we're running a little late today. Our normal schedule is on every Sunday. We go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the uploads go live on Monday at noon. So thank you all for tuning in live, and thank you all for watching on your respective media outlets, I should say. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the show. We're going to start things off with the weekly icebreaker. And if you are new to the podcast, the weekly icebreaker is just a question that we like to ask of the panel, just to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming topics. And today's question was brought to us by the homeboy Todd. So Todd, I'm gonna go ahead and let you introduce our weekly icebreaker. What do we got this week?
So we're gamers. We've been playing games for quite a while. We've had quite a few devices in our hands at different times. So my question to you, and for all you at home or wherever you're at watching and listening, what is your all-time favorite controller? Going all the way back as far as you can remember playing games, what is the controller you've had that you felt was like, this has been the controller I've liked the most?
That's actually a really good question. I can tell you because like you get the nostalgia goggles. Like the first controller to come to mind is the Genesis controller, just because it was one of my first. My very first controller was the NES controller, but I can't say that I like the super square design, right? Because holding it tight meant that you were like killing yourself.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. Right. But the Genesis controller had that like kind of like rounded off, like a rounded crescent type shape, you know what I'm saying?
It's so comfortable, right?
Yeah, and it was like really comfortable for an old school controller. But for modern times, I'd probably say I think the 360 controller like really did it. I feel like the 360 controller is one of the best controllers ever created, and the Xbox One controller isn't far behind them on that. It's just everything just fits. Right there. Like I don't have the biggest hands in the world, right? So for me, it's a perfect controller, perfect size, perfect button placement. I'd have to go with the 360 controller. What about you, though?
I'm in the same boat. It's funny because you have both the same 2S as I do. Okay. Sega Genesis. Mine may be a slight different because I didn't necessarily like the 3-button Sega Genesis controller. Because remember, when the Genesis first was released, it had that big, doofy, supersized 3-button controller.
Yeah, the 3-button.
And then after the Super Nintendo came out with their 6 buttons, the 4 face and the 2 bumpers, Sega released a 6-button controller. I think that's probably my favorite that I can remember. I put a lot of it was just like you said, it had the perfect size, that nice crescent design. It fit in your hand nicely. The buttons were close enough that they're easy to reach, but far enough apart so you weren't accidentally hitting some button you didn't need to hit.
Right.
Very close second is, like you said, Xbox 360, Xbox One. I melded those both together because Microsoft didn't really do much changes. They didn't really make much of a change going from 360 to Xbox One. And to be fair, they didn't necessarily need to. I think the controller, I love the offset thumbpad, the offset analog sticks, as opposed to them being next to each other like PlayStation. It's just, I have my hands aren't huge, but my fingers, especially my thumbs, are abnormally long. So
long thumbed.
Yeah. So when I have to use the PlayStation controller, I always keep my thumbs bent, and eventually my thumbs start getting fatigued. They tend to cramp at some point. So yeah, I like this Sega Genesis. The 6-button Sega Genesis is still my all-time favorite, but on the current systems, Xbox, what they have is what I like.
Yeah. Special guest Sonny is in the background. Sorry about that, everybody. He's back again for his revenge.
We got to get him on camera.
One day. I don't know. Like I don't think he likes me enough to like be around me without like immediately like picking at my eye sockets. But maybe we'll get a picture of him somewhere, and I could just like put him right here. I could be like a pirate or something. Maybe when Sea of Thieves comes out, I'll try and make that a thing.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Sonny on camera. But speaking of controllers, I kind of just want to like harp back on that. The most uncomfortable controller. Go.
PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, let me stop. Let me take a step back and let me think.
I was like, there's some uncomfortable controllers out there, man. Like even with me being a Sega fanboy, the Dreamcast controller was the most uncomfortable, like mess ever.
And you know what? I didn't that actually because of the way that it was spaced, it fit perfectly in my hand. Again,
it fit perfectly
my
in
long
the
fingers.
The only issue that I had, or like one of the issues that I had with the Dreamcast controller was the D-pad. Till this day, it is the only controller that has actually made me bleed my own blood.
Oh God!
So for that reason and that reason alone, it is probably my worst controller.
I'll tell you the most uncomfortable controller for me was the OG Xbox frying pan.
Oh, the Big Bertha.
That thing was
Duke.
Huge. It was huge. And not only was it huge, it was hefty.
It was huge. It was hefty, and I don't know how you were supposed to play a game that required the black and white button.
Right.
They were just in the most inconvenient places ever.
Right. You had to play. I played a lot.
Like claw style?
Claw style, yeah. I played a lot of claw style because of just what you said. It's super uncomfortable. Wasn't designed well.
But the V2 OG Xbox controller was the shit.
Right. The OG one was horrible. It was heavy. It was big. It was unwieldy. It had ugly, stupid cords.
Big old freaking like Xbox logo in the center, like you didn't know what console you were playing on.
That did nothing. Was there for no reason. Yeah, I would have to go there. Yeah, and mainly because of button placement and just the size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So let us know down in the comment section or wherever it is that you are consuming this media. What are some of your favorite and least favorite controllers from past
as long
console
as
lifestyle,
from the first console you had, until what you have now.
Yeah. Don't go saying the Atari Jaguar when you never had one. But if you had one, I'm pretty sure that's probably up there.
That is a horrible controller.
That's a horrible controller.
I didn't have one. I had a friend that had one, and that thing it's a mess.
It is a mess. Yeah, that's a very solid statement.
I didn't bother to play it long enough to really form a serious opinion, but I played it and I didn't like it, and I never went back to it.
Played it, didn't like it, never went back, never looked back. Yeah, I didn't even know anybody that owned the Jaguar. I didn't know that was a thing until like looking it up on the internet years later. But that's a icebreaker for another time. But let us know what you guys think, and if you want to submit questions to us, you can do so using the hashtag Weekly Icebreaker over on Twitter. Let us know what you think and ask us questions, and it may be featured during this segment on a future podcast episode. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the quick hits, which is going to be our next segment. And the quick hits is just a segment where we go through and give you guys like the nitty gritty when it comes to certain stories. And since there was a lot that came out of Gamescom 2017, we're going to give you guys, a couple of quick hits in regard to some of the news that came out of that event. So Boogie, why don't you go ahead and start us off? What's the first quick hit we got?
Telltale Games. Gosh, what their guy,
like the studio head or something?
Yeah, Job Stoffer.
Okay.
He was having a talk, and he was gushing over the Nintendo Switch, and he talked about, because they brought they're bringing Minecraft episodes to the Switch, and he was gushing over the Switch, how much they liked it and such, and how more stuff may be coming in the future, blah blah blah, and certainly shortly after that, Nintendo shot out a tweet saying that the Guardians of the Galaxy and Batman Telltale games will be actually making it to the Switch.
Okay.
Which is cool. I mean, again, a Telltale game is not overly hardware dependent. It's
Right.
fairly simple, something the Switch can easily do.
Right. So that's why I'm kind of surprised that these games weren't on the Wii U. It's just like Telltale was just not about the Wii U for some reason.
They kind of mentioned it. They just said that the Wii U wasn't popular enough. It's basically what they said. They said the Wii U wasn't selling. They didn't want to waste their time porting games where there wasn't people to play them.
Yeah, that's saying something. I mean, and it's kind of weird that they're bringing games that are already like currently out. Like I would see, like for me, it makes more sense for them to announce that their future releases will be available on the Switch. For them to bring out games that are already like currently out doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, because the Telltale games aren't really like they're not traditional games in where you can like with traditional like gameplay elements. These are stories.
Right. So this is what I would say, because I was thinking the same thing. But when you look at a Telltale game, it's basically a choose your own adventure, right? It lends itself perfectly to a mobile console. Something that is true. Something that you can pick up and go, like the Switch. Pick it up and go. I can see myself on a flight, if I'm flying somewhere, taking my Switch and playing Guardians of the Galaxy's Telltale or Game of Thrones or something, because it's not involved. I don't have to have all this pum pum pum. I'm just selecting the story path. I think it fits. A Telltale game fits perfectly with what the Switch is.
Right, but see, I'm coming to it from like a consumer viewpoint. If I wanted to see these stories, I've already seen them. Right. Either by somebody streaming it, somebody, uploading it to YouTube. These are narrative adventure games. Games that, in my opinion, are just as enjoyable if you watch somebody else play it than for you to like purchase it for yourself and buy it for yourself. So that's my perception of the situation. Is like, you have these games, they may be awesome stories, but releasing them on a console, late.
It's a way for them to be recognized. Like, okay, Telltale games are on Nintendo, so when the next one comes out, like the next set of episodes, like if you already have The Walking Dead episodes, seasons 1 and 2 already, or if you have the full season of Game of Thrones, there's no reason, even if you have the Batman or Guardians of the Galaxy, there's no reason for you to go back and get them. But if you don't have them and you were thinking about getting it, in my opinion, I would say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Switch would be the system of choice, just because I can pick it up and take it with me, as opposed to having it on Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. It's just, I really feel like going forward, this is an excellent idea, but I don't think that we need like an entire like backlog of Telltale games, because like we said in past episodes, everybody that has the Switch, most likely this is their secondary console. So if they have these games on other consoles, they probably already played them. I don't see the reason for them to like go into their entire backlog. We don't need to see Jurassic Park or anything like that, or some of those early games.
The Walking Dead, and even those, I wouldn't expect it to come out. I would expect them to take, like, they have the Minecraft, they have Batman, because Batman and Guardians of the Galaxy have new content coming still. So I would expect them to take that stuff going forward in future games to show up on the Switch. I agree. Putting their back catalog on there may not be unless they release like a greatest hits or something that pack, like a bundle pack, like at a cheaper price point. Right. That would be fine, but piecemealing them back onto the Switch and selling them for full price, I don't think is a good idea. Right, and that's the only thing that I had to say about it. Other than that, this is most likely going to be like a pretty good idea, and something that a lot of Nintendo fans may have been waiting for. And, the Switch needs games, man. This is something that we keep talking about. The Switch needs games. It's funny how all of these developers love it, but it's like they don't have any games for it. So the problem is it's a power issue, right? It doesn't it can't run Assassin's Creed, the newest Assassin's Creed. It's not going to be able to run Anthem, but it certainly can run Telltale, the Telltale games. And I mean that's still a step in the right direction. And again, I'm giving the Switch a pass. I mean, it's the first year. True. I'm being really harsh on it just because of how much of a disappointment the Wii U was. I really feel like they need to be going a lot harder than they're currently going, but apparently they're going just as hard as they need to be going, because it's selling like hotcakes. And what's more important than that is developers are jumping on board, and big publishers
supposedly, and as far as we can tell, they're jumping on board. We haven't actually seen any serious products come out, but
they've said they're jumping on board.
Yeah, they've said they're jumping on board. Do I need to bring up the picture of all the third-party developers? I remember they showed that off. We have all the developers working on Switch content. Like, all right, show me what's good, Nintendo. Like, I really feel like, for me, as a consumer, Nintendo definitely has something to prove. Like, I know that they haven't been a part of like the console war and like competing directly with Microsoft and Sony for quite some time. But to me, as a consumer, personally, they have something to prove. Re-releasing Wii games is not doing it right now.
No, not at all. So, and like I said, stepping right, because Telltale didn't bother with the Wii because
not at all.
So for them to go from the Nintendo we're not going to bother to, oh, look, we're putting our games on Switch, that's a big step.
Right. Okay. So good on them. I mean, I personally am not a fan of the Telltale games. I'd rather watch somebody else play it and experience it that way. I don't see why I should pay money just to see a narrative. Like, I go watch a movie or something.
Yeah, because that's essentially what it is.
That's essentially what it is. It's quick time events. Yeah.
Yeah. If you are an old head like me, the library books, the choose your own adventure books, is essentially what it is.
Or like the old like Monkey Island games or something like that.
Yeah.
With like less thought to it, in my opinion.
Ooh,
that's just me. Shots fired. Sorry, but let's go ahead and move on to the next story. What we got? What's next?
We got some Mass Effect news. So it seems like the demise of Mass Effect may have greatly been exaggerated. We talked about Mass Effect losing support for a single player. We talked about BioWare being folded into EA Motive. Well, just recently, EA the executive VP, Patrick Soderlund, he came out and said that there's no reason why they would not make another Mass Effect game. But he did say it has to be fresh, has to be exciting. Fresh is a huge keyword, fresh.
Right. Yeah, we're not going back to the Andromeda universe,
right? And it has to be something worth making. Is basically what he's saying. So, I can imagine we won't see BioWare Montreal or what's left of them or EA Motive getting it. From this, it sounds like they'll bring it back down the road sometime, and it'd probably be another studio working on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really feel that Mass Effect was dead after Andromeda. I was a little disappointed in the fact that they decided to just give up on the project and, just allow it to just, be where it's at in its current state and not offer any more updates. I was a little disappointed in that fact, but under no circumstances did I, accept the fact that, we're never going to get another Mass Effect. That never really crossed my mind. It's
too big of a franchise, and also so something he's been getting flack for. The same guy, Patrick Sutherland. He also mentioned that he thought Mass Effect took too much criticism, and that really hurt the game. And
I can agree with that to a certain extent.
This is what I'm going to say about that. This is why I don't agree with it. It got the criticism it deserved, not because it was a bad game, not because any of it. It's because they shipped the game that not only was it delayed, when they finally released it after it being delayed, after they're saying it's being delayed so they can fix it or make sure it's a good product, it still came out buggy with tons of problems.
Unpolished.
Right. Yeah. So that criticism was well deserved. Not because he's saying Mass Effect is a horrible game. I still don't think it's a bad game. It's Mass Effect. I just think that they just handle it all wrong.
Yeah. The development cycle apparently was really hectic on the development team because they went from the Unreal Engine to the kind of like EA standard, which is the Frostbite engine. Yeah. And that, in turn may have caused a lot of issues and strife with the development of the game. So I can say that while it probably did deserve all of the criticism that it got, it was in waves. It was like it never stopped. It never stopped, and it's partly because of how highly regarded the Mass Effect series is.
That's what I was going to say. It's Mass Effect.
Right. So it's not that it's not deserved. It deserved it. It was just a lot coming in at all at once, seemingly.
Right.
So I can see how he can see from that stamp his viewpoint that it didn't deserve all of that. Like it deserved what it got, but it was just a lot. It's like being punched in the
constantly.
face. It's like being punched in like every inch of your face at the same time, just like blah. Like you can't do anything about it. So
from what I understand, that's how Conor McGregor felt last night.
Man, I didn't even watch. I watched like the cliff notes of the.
No, why would I? It'll be on Showtime next week. I'll watch it then.
Showtime next week? Yeah, right. Yep. It's on YouTube and Facebook right now.
Yeah, probably.
No, it is.
I'm not. I bet money. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I didn't bother to check, but because I'm not that really interested.
No, not at all.
but I think he has a point that it got a lot of criticism, but I think much of it is very well deserved.
Yeah.
And nobody, at least me for one, I don't want to see Mass Effect go away. I definitely would like to see the game. I still got to get through this. I'm only about a third, maybe 25% through, and I will beat it. I guarantee you. Whether if I have to do it and my eyes bleed in the process, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish Mass Effect Andromeda. It wasn't the game that I expected, and that's most in part what a lot of people may have thought. And I really do feel like if they would have pursued, updated the game, kept giving us content, that over time it could have ended its life cycle as like, okay, this was overall it was a good game, had a rough launch or whatnot, but for them to give up the way that they did, that right there just kind of cements the overall thought that this was just not it's not what we wanted.
It's not what they wanted. Exactly,
it's not what we wanted. Right. So the guys over at EA, whatever team picks it up, they're gonna have to start from scratch.
That might be a good thing.
Yeah, but we probably not going to see one for like 4 or 5 years, maybe.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, the game did feel, even though it looked newer, it still the gameplay felt a bit dated.
Yeah. I guess the Frostbite engine just isn't designed for that kind of game.
Right.
It seems like maybe, I don't know. I didn't really mind the gameplay too much. It was very good for the action oriented gameplay that Andromeda was trying to bring forth, but just I don't know.
It's just Mass Effect, right?
It's Mass Effect, yeah.
Right.
We'll get another one in a few years. It's too big of a franchise, has too much of a fan base. I mean, hell, we have an N7 day that people like celebrate like it's Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they're never going to give up on Mass Effect, especially like 4 games in. Like no.
Right.
Well, we'll get another Mass Effect, and I'm glad that EA actually came out and said something, because before this, there was nothing from the big head of the...
Yeah, that's why everyone's like, oh, Mass Effect is finished. That was the big story, right?
Yeah. And so EA coming out and confirming to everybody, like, nah, it's not done. I mean, it just kind of I guess, puts people's minds at ease. But here's to them coming back, stronger than ever. Like I stated in the previous episode, I won't pre-order, but I'll most likely pick it up whenever it comes out. I'll have to see something. But we're years away from that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next quick hit. What we got?
Okay, so Tuesday we got Mario vs. Rabbids, or Mario's and Rabbids Kingdom Battle coming out, right? And just recently, a couple of days ago, they announced the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle Season Pass.
Oh, joy.
$20. It gets you, at launch, 8 exclusive steampunk weapons. Some in the fall of 2017, whenever that is. So sometime after September, between September and November, right? Or September, December, I should say. You get new solo challenges and co-op maps. And next year, you get new unexpected story content, whatever that means. So for $20, I mean, you have a chance to extend the game, I guess. And I mean, that's standard,
Yeah.
Season passes are the way things are.
Yeah, the Nintendo is just figuring this out, though. Apparently,
they're just figuring out. I don't know. Are you going to be getting the season pass?
I don't know. I'm definitely interested in the game. The game does look very entertaining, and the more I think about it, the more I just realize that I'm really into a lot of the Mario, kind of like RPGs, like like the ones on the handhelds, the Mario and Luigi, like Superstar Sagas, all of those. I really do enjoy those games, and I enjoy the stories that those games tell. And I'm not a super huge fan of the gameplay, the real time strategy
Right.
or whatever.
It's
But
turn based. It's not
or
real
turn
time.
yeah
It's
turn yeah
turn-based,
turn based strategy. Not a big strategy guy, but this just looks so entertaining.
It looks super fun.
It looks super fun. It's bright and it's colorful, and it's being made by Ubisoft. So this is not a
not a
Nintendo
Nintendo
developed game.
Right.
It's being developed by Ubisoft, and it looks like and it seems like they put a lot of tender love and care into these properties, because Nintendo doesn't give out their properties very often. So for Ubisoft to have this opportunity to work with the premier Nintendo IP, I really do think that this is going to be something special. Although when it was announced, I can't say that I was not expecting it. I was like, who wanted this? But over time, it's kind of won me over. I do expect to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up. It comes out on the 28th, which is Monday.
No, Tuesday, 29th.
Oh, the 29th? Oh, I thought it
Yeah.
came out on 28th. So yeah,
Yes,
on
29th.
Tuesday, I'll be playing it, and it's co-op, so it's something that me and the GF can play together.
I definitely will be playing. I'm definitely getting it because one of my favorite all-time games has been Final Fantasy Tactics, which is the same type of game. I like the turn-based strategy. I have XCOM 2. I've been playing around. XCOM 2 is a son of a bitch. Just let you know that it's not simple. Is much more difficult than any of the other ones I played. Because anyway, but I like these type of games. I like the turn-based strategy games, and I'll definitely be getting this, and I'm hoping it'll be fun.
Yeah. But as far as the season pass, it doesn't really interest me at this point. I'll have to actually get my hands on the game, and if I enjoy the game and I want to extend my playtime with it, then that's something that I'll think about. I am done with the days of buying season pass content before it's actually out.
Yeah.
Or before the game is actually
Before
out.
the game is actually out,
Yeah. So I'm good on that, but I'm super excited for the game. I can't wait for the game to come out.
Right. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. We got one more quick hit for you guys. Boogie, why don't you take us there?
Yeah. So, and I didn't see this coming. We've got another crossover. This one is actually Final Fantasy 15 crossing over with Assassin's Creed, which is odd.
Very odd. Almost as odd as them crossing over with Forza.
Yeah, true. It's odd. So basically, they have an event going that's going to be started. It's actually supposed to start, I think, Monday. No, it starts the 31st. But the DLC, the update comes this week, either Monday or Tuesday. I forget exactly which day. But basically, you're going to have the Assassin's Festival, and you're going to be able to do take some Assassin's Creed type actions in game, as well as get some Assassin's Creed styled or themed content, costumes, right, and such, which is actually it's kind of cool, I guess.
It seems super dope, and it's just kind of elongating the lifespan of this game, Final Fantasy 15. I did not play it, never really wanted to, but it's just been getting a lot of love lately.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. I just want to let you know that. But yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know, will I play Final Fantasy 15 now because of it? I have it. I played it. I actually, and I've come on and said this on the show before, I hate the game. I just don't like the game. It tries to be too much. It just doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game to me. Maybe I've been away from Final Fantasy for too long. The last one I played was, I think, which one had Lightning? Was it 12 or 13?
13.
Yeah, that's the last one I played. It just seems like it's too far away from Final Fantasy to me. And I don't know. But this is cool.
It's a cool crossover. It looks like it's going to be fun. So for the people that have the game, it's free.
Right.
It's free as well.
Right. It is a free update. Definitely, you're not paying anything for it. So that's always good. Free updates and free content. And I'm wondering if these type of crossovers, and maybe this might be something we'll do a deep dive into, look into. Mm-hmm. I wonder if this is paid. I wonder if Ubisoft gave Square Enix a couple of dollars to throw some of their content in there. That would be interesting to find out.
I wouldn't be surprised. The Assassin's Creed Origin is the first Assassin's Creed game in about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense for them to try to get as many eyes on it as possible.
Right.
So I wouldn't put it past them.
Right. So I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I don't know if I'll ever go back to Final Fantasy. I might just touch it just because of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's kind of cool. I like that type. I like the crossover. It definitely is super surprising. And I'm wondering if we're going to get a Final Fantasy supersized sword in Assassin's Creed now.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. I'm super excited for Assassin's Creed Origins. So once that game releases, we'll see if they return the favor and show Final Fantasy some love.
Right.
We'll see. Very unlikely crossover, but one that I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy. But so that was our quick hits. Submit stories to us, man. You can do that via our social media. You can send us messages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are consuming this media. You can submit stories to us. And if they don't make it into the top 5, if they don't deserve a deep dive, then they'll most likely make it into the quick hit section. So hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think about these stories. And, as always, submit stories to us so that we can give our opinion on them to you, because that's what this show is all about. We report the news and then we give our opinion on it as 2 seasoned video gamers. But with that said, we're going to move into the next segment. But before we get there, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, the homies over at the New Challenger Discord. Head on over to newchallenger.gg and get good with your favorite character in either Street Fighter V or Injustice 2. They are currently in the process of adding functionality for the upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. They also have a small thing going for Tekken 7. And when Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out, I will be an active member once again. So the website is newchallenger.gg. Head on over and let them know that True Sonic sent you. And if you go to their Twitter, which is newchallenger.tv, you can keep updated with their schedule. They're currently in the season 3 of their Street Fighter 5 Underdog tournament, which just went down right before we went live. I do not have the winner. Oh my god, let me see if I can find it really quickly. Who won? Who won the tournament? I did not see who won. I think it's X Arrow. X Arrow with his Rashid, Chun-Li, Laura, and Ken combination of characters.
Wow.
Looks like he took the dub for this week. But if you head on over to their Twitter, you can keep updated with all of their dealings, and also head on over to their Twitch channel, newchallenger.tv, New Challenger TV, because they do have weekly shows that they produce as well, like the Beginner Breakdown. It's a very awesome show. You can get a lot of cool and useful knowledge from those guys there. So big shout out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the New Challenger Discord. And as always, another big shout out to our homeboy Mount Lover, who is not only a commentator for the Street Fighter V bi-weekly tournaments, but he is also a coach, and he is a moderator for the Discord itself, and he's my best friend. So big shout out big shout out to Mount Lover. He's also our stream tech. He takes care of all the problems that we have here. So next segment is the top 5 stories, and this is where we like to do the deep dive. This is where we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, and we are going to talk about a lot of stuff today because a lot of stuff happened over at Gamescom. So first off, we have a story from our good old friends at Sony Computer Entertainment. It seems like they are still in 2017 trying to stop crossplay from happening. Boogie, why don't you go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit?
So no, it's not at Games. Well, I guess during Gamescom. Developer Wildcard, the developer of Ark Survival Evolved, the co-founder Jeremy Stieglitz, he was on Twitter, and he noted that that the Ark session was running on Ark host sessions were running on an Xbox One X. So somebody came on and asked, well, if it's running on One X and we're connected to it, when is crossplay, or can crossplay come? And basically, his response specifically said, "We have it working internally, so they do have crossplay working, but Sony will not allow it."
Yeah, Sony is just holding back on that, and this is something that we brought up in the past as well, with them, just halting crossplay. With the interconnectivity of the Minecraft community, like Minecraft is connected everywhere except for on PlayStation.
Right.
For reasons
because they don't have to.
Yeah, they're in the lead. They are in the lead as far as the market is concerned, so they don't need it. They would rather keep everybody connected on their platform instead of branching out.
Yeah, they want to keep it walled off because what winds up happening is they feel, and I can understand why, but they feel like if they allow cross-platform play is less of a reason for people to buy PlayStation. But I beg to differ because they spend a ton of money on exclusive games.
Right.
Uncharted, the Spider-Man, Neo, Horizon Zero Dawn. Nier. I mean, they've got tons and tons of, and they've got more and more. They got more coming out. Every time you hear from Sony, they have an exclusive game. What's the new the shooting game that we did? Lawbreakers.
Yeah.
PC, PS4. I mean, they have tons and tons. Whether they're total console exclusives, timed exclusives, or complete exclusives where it's not on console or PC, Sony has the most, and that's why people are buying Sony. They're not buying it because these third-party games that everybody can play on any system. Nobody's buying PlayStation for that.
Right.
People buying PlayStation for their
exclusives, and in this day and age, that is primarily the only reason to buy one console over another. In my personal opinion, like it's all about the exclusives and whether or not your friends also have that console. Those are the two deciding factors when you are shopping. So if you're listening out there, you're curious as to what console you should buy. Number one, exclusives, and number two, what do your friends have? Because that's mostly what it's all about.
And that's what Sony's afraid of. Is that, okay, we got the exclusives and we got people coming over here and we're going to make people who may not want a PlayStation, they don't care about exclusives, but since all their friends have PlayStation, they'll buy a PlayStation. And you lose that, but I don't think people really care that much about it.
No, and you know what? I don't think that crossplay should be just like across the board. Like every single game deserves crossplay. I don't think that should be the case. And like with something like this, the floodgates should never be like open completely, just for, the sake of competition. But for certain games, Rocket League, Minecraft,
Overwatch. What I will say is any game that has a highly competitive community, especially those games that are esport games. When you say Rocket League and you say Overwatch, Street Fighters and the Injustices and that type of stuff where there's literally a professional community around it, they should all be able to play against each other, whether they're playing on PlayStation, PC, or Xbox, or Nintendo Switch if it's available for the Switch. They should all be able to play against each other. Yeah. That elongates the life of the game, for one, and it makes a small niche community to a large, significant community.
Yeah, I agree. And if Sony continues to not want to play ball, like because this is basically the the developers and the software companies trying to have everybody trying to connect everybody. Right. If Sony doesn't want to play ball, I say they just go elsewhere and just leave them out. So then you'll have Sony, who's just like all off to the side doing their own thing, and everybody else will be able to play with everybody. So because that is what's going to drive people to buy other consoles, not them not allowing crossplay.
I think that's something that's eventually going to happen, and it's gonna cost. The thing is, it seems like it's something essentially a Switch. I mean, not necessarily a physical Switch, but something that's fairly simple to implement at this point. Because the thing is, Sony doesn't have to do anything but essentially open ports, right? Open ports to send data back and forth between these third-party services. The developer actually has to do all of the work, from balancing to interconnectivity and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think they're on right now. They are on the wrong side of history, right? And it may get to a point where it's going to start costing them, especially if Microsoft continues like with the Sea of Thieves, allowing for cross-platform play between Xbox and PC, because
And
third parties are going to see that and say, hey, well, yes, why not? And then when you add that to the fact that Microsoft is offering the Play Anywhere, where you buy a game on Xbox and you can play it on PC and vice versa. I mean, that's a double-edged sword, because now I can play on any system I want, and I can play against anybody else that's playing it, whether they're on PC or Xbox.
Right, and then with Microsoft being so vocally open about the situation, that in itself is what's gonna drive people to just like, okay, well, we'll just do this instead of we won't invite Sony to the party.
Right.
Because Microsoft has indicated on multiple occasions that they are, they want crossplay. They are ready to implement it.
Mm-hmm.
We're in talks with Sony. We're just waiting on them.
Right. They just recently they just said it again, that they are currently in talks with Sony.
That's a segue.
Yeah, and I don't think, is that a story? Oh yeah, we do.
No, it's just a little talking point. Yeah.
Yes, a talking point. Yeah, they definitely. That's a great segue. Listen to me. Look at me, just over my head over here.
Thank you. I'm on it today.
Yeah. So we're in talks. They've been in talks for a while because they want Minecraft. One of the big things Microsoft wants is they want that unified Minecraft. They want Minecraft to equal across everything, because as it stands now, from your mobile device, Android, iOS, tablet, your Switch, your PC, or your Xbox, all those people can play together. The only people that can't play with them are people that play on PlayStation. And the Minecraft community is huge, and
growing.
And when you wall yourself off from that community, nobody's gonna play Minecraft on PlayStation, because my friend John down the street plays on iOS, and my friend Bob in school plays on Xbox, and I play on PC. If I get on PlayStation, I can't play with
any of them.
If I play on PC, I can play with them. And if I want to get a console and I can get a PlayStation and not play with all my friends in Minecraft, or I can get an Xbox or Switch or PC and play with all my friends on Xbox. Right. I mean, on Minecraft. So, I mean, it's to their detriment. I mean, right now it's still basically in the infant stages, but as it gains more and more momentum, if Sony continues to resist, it's going to cost them dearly.
Right. I mean, it's not like this is something that hasn't been proven to be, a thing that's possible.
Right.
I mean, it's possible. We're waiting on Sony to basically just play nice.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. And again, we're on top. Look at all those fools down there trying to get what we got. But
they're gonna get something else. It's something that's gonna prolong. It's future proofing, man.
Right.
I've been using that term for a while.
I don't think cross-platform play is going to be detrimental for them. Allowing cross-platform play is going to be detrimental as long as their model is, we have all of the great exclusives.
Right. Yeah. Because if they got the exclusives, if they got the exclusive games that people want to play, they will continue to sell PlayStation 4s.
Yep.
But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they play ball, because I'm still up in the air on what platform I want to get Destiny 2 on, and that game is right around the corner.
There's no crossplay on that one.
Has it been confirmed? Like I remember I think we were talking about whether or not it was going to have the Play Anywhere feature on Xbox.
Oh yeah, the Play Anywhere. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's, at least as it stands now, there's no cross-platform play.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust Bungie to do anything. They can't balance the game on one platform, let alone cross-plat. Please.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next story. We have a lot more to talk about with games. And speaking of games, we have the Games with Gold for September. This is September, my favorite thing to talk about when it comes to Xbox, because I always have to mention the fact that the 360 games are backwards compatible on the Xbox One. That is something that you do not get on the PlayStation, and it's something that is just wonderful. It's just wonderful. So if you're unfamiliar, the Games with Gold is a monthly thing that goes down, and if you have Xbox Gold on your console, you get 4 free games every single month.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I say yes.
Yes. So yeah, 4 free games every month. You get 2 that are Xbox One games and 2 that are Xbox 360 games, and all of them are playable on the Xbox One. The first half comes out between the 1st and the 15th, and then the second two come out during the later half of the month. So what are the 4 games that we will be blessed with this month?
Okay, so on the first, you're gonna get Forza Motorsport 5, not 6, 5.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the racing game of the year version. I mean, if you like racing games, racing sims, Forza Motorsport is a fabulous game. The game of the year version, of course, has all of the racing game of the year is what it actually is. Has all of the DLC. So all of the DLC cars, they usually give anywhere between 3 to 5 car packs. You're able to buy the cars separately. Usually they're about $2, $1.99. I think at one point I have to check this, but I think at one point they were selling Porsche on this Forza Motorsport 5, but they were super expensive.
Okay.
But I mean, it's Forza. I mean, you can't go wrong. I know it's two, because Forza 7 is the one that's coming out. So they skipped Forza 6 and they're giving you Forza 5, but it's still a great racing game.
Yeah, I mean, and it's free. Like, come on.
And it's
now.
free, yeah. And then the other Xbox One game is Oxenfree, which is something I have my eye on. It's like it's an adventure game. It's is it a horror adventure game? No, it is a supernatural adventure game.
Okay.
So it's a side scroller, almost to like akin to like a platformer. It looks. I like the art style in it. If nothing else, I do like the art style. And then on Xbox 360, you get Hydro Thunder Hurricane. This is a game that came out quite a while ago. I actually had this game for a little while.
Okay.
I had some good times with it. It's a fun. It's a boat on water racing game. Think of any of those on water racing games. I can't think. I mean,
Hydro Thunder. I mean, if you ever been to the movies in the early 2000s, you already know what Hydro Thunder is.
Exactly.
Because it was the one game that actually like blowed air at you.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because it was always like super hot in the movie theater. So I would always like play Hydro Thunder, get a little bit of AC going on. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the other game is Battlefield 3. And Battlefield 3 is, at this point, I still would say it's probably one of the, if not the best Battlefield games on any of the consoles. Battlefield 3 was a fabulous game. It was well balanced. It wasn't a camp fest as you would find in Call of Duty. It had nice, massive scales with vehicles. You had the helicopters, you had the planes, you had boats, you had tanks, you had jeeps, you had emplaced weapons, and it was a great game. If you jumped in there with a organized crew, you would absolutely do damage, but you can also just go lone wolf and still be relevant in the game. I really enjoy Battlefield 3. That's why I was so disappointed with 4. Right. Battlefield 1 is good. I don't know. I'm not too huge on the World War I tech, I should say. But it is, if you haven't played Battlefield 3 and you want to give it a go, it's definitely worth a go.
Yeah, I think out of all the games, because I actually owned Battlefield 3, so I have played that game. I've never really been a Battlefield type of guy. I'm not one for like massive, massive scale maps, and like coordination like that. I'm an Xbot, so my first person shooter of choice for a very long time was Halo. So very compact, very small team oriented. So going to trying to transition into something like Battlefield did not go well for me online. So never been a Battlefield fan, but I do want to check out that one game, Oxenfree.
Oxenfree, yeah.
That looks very interesting. Also, I'm not a huge racing sim guy, so Forza 5 will probably not do it for me either. But Hydro Thunder, that's the jam right there.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that.
So two out of 4 games for me this month. What about you?
Yeah, I would download probably all 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'm a big Forza fan. I like the Forza game. I like the racing sims. I like them because it takes me away from all the super competitive where Overwatch or Battlefield or those type of games, and it gets me out of the narrative. It's just something that I can just sit back, relax. I find it mellow. I throw on a playlist, drive around, drive a few races, and I enjoy myself on that. Battlefield 3, I would definitely download because I had that. That was a physical copy, and I haven't played it since I got rid of my 360. And I enjoyed Battlefield 3. I mean, I was good at it too. So I definitely would like to get in there, hop up in my helicopter, because I used to get in the helicopter and finish matches like 70 kills.
Dang.
Yeah, I used to just destroy people with the helicopter to the point where I would have like whole squadrons chasing, just
get the helicopter.
Yeah, have an airplane after me, and I have whole ground crews, like 2 or 3 engineers shooting javelins at me.
That's what's up.
It was nuts. But I definitely enjoyed that. We'll get that. Hydro Thunder, like you said, is super classic.
Classic, man.
Yeah, and Oxenfree, I like the art style, and I want to give that a shot, see what it's like.
Yeah, me too. You got a 2 out of 4 from me, a 4 out of 4 from Boogie. Overall, a very solid lineup for this one. Because in the previous
like 3-4 months, it's been super disappointing.
Yeah,
and not saying they were bad games, but they were like super dated games, and super dated games that weren't all that great. They were mediocre at best.
Right. Mediocre at best. So yeah, that is the games with. I don't know why I keep calling it games for gold. That just rolls off the tongue a bit. Games with gold. That is like too much going on with the mouth. Sorry, that's my inner thoughts right there. Anyway, the games with gold for September. Go ahead and download your favorites and let us know which ones you are looking forward to playing in the comment section. We would love to hear about it. Shouts out to anybody that enjoyed the AC from Hydro Thunder back in the day. That was my jam. I'm sorry, that was something that interests me. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next story, and we have Overwatch in the news. But, lots of Overwatch in the news this week.
Yeah, Blizzard went bonkers with the Overwatch news, and it's not insignificant news. So first, I'm gonna start off with a story. This is actually from last week, where the latest update, the one that's on the PTR, well, I guess it's not on there now, but that was on the PTR, that had the Junkrat getting double concussion mines, is adding in-game reporting for consoles. It's something that's been on PC for Lord knows how long, but it is finally coming to consoles, and it's definitely much needed, to the point where yesterday I finished my 10th match, because I'm not a big competitive dude. I just don't like it. It's too stressful. The people are just too foul. Like, it's too toxic, because you get in there and you hear some of the nastiest, disgusting, vilest comments from people for no reason, because they suck. But I digress. There's in-game reporting, and I just finished a match where we had a maid that kept blocking us in the room. Would block us from going down hallways.
On your team?
Yes, she was on our team. She kept putting the wall up when we were like at choke points to stop us from going to where we wanted to go. She was stupid. And then she was jumping off the map, and she just I don't know what she was trying to do, but it was definitely working. If she was trying to make everybody upset, it was definitely working, because I was hearing some words that I did not repeat here.
Some strong language.
Right. But so that's that. But then now let's get to some better news. So there's a new map coming.
Baby.
It's a new escort map. It's called Junkertown. It's actually where Roadhog and Junkrat are from. And it actually looks cool. It looks straight out of like Team Fortress 2.
It does, actually.
It's actually, I like it. I can't wait to get on this map. And what's really cool is it's an escort. And normally on the escort, like on Hollywood, there's actually an Omnic actor that's in that little limo. On Numbani, it was a Doomfist fist. Now it's something else. But for Junktown, it's a freaking pile of gold and jewels. It's pretty cool.
It's like they're gold hoard.
Right. And so that's cool. That's coming. New maps. I love that. For all the Overwatches, I love that the content that they give, the additional content, is always free. I like there's no additional charge for that. But yeah, that's coming. But the bigger news, first starting with Diva. So Diva is being revamped. if you've used Diva, excuse me, not if you've played against Diva, especially if you played in competitive mode, you know that people use the defense matrix to just ruin your kills. You're about to kill that Mercy so she can't res the team, and then next thing you know, Diva drops in, puts up a defense matrix for 4 seconds, and your ult is gone, and there's that. Well, that is being nerfed. Is going from a force lasting for 4 seconds to only lasting 2 seconds. So it's not going to last as long. She's not going to be able to block as much damage, and the cooldown is staying the same. What they are doing to Diva, they are making her more offensive by giving her a new ability called the missile. It's a missile salvo. So basically, you're going to send mini missiles, shoot them at people. They do damage, and they do also a small amount of splash damage in the area. You will be able to shoot those while you're doing any of other Diva abilities. So if you're using a defense matrix, you can shoot it. If you're using your boost, you can shoot it. Even if you're shooting your cannons, you can shoot it. And additionally,
so super offensive.
And additionally, before, if you were using your boosters, you couldn't shoot your cannons. Now, when you're using your booster, you will be able to shoot as well. So that they're making her more offensive, and they're scaling back her ability to block damage. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Me personally, it's going to help me a lot because when I play Diva, when I play Diva, I play offensive. I'm always pushing when I'm Diva. The only time I usually use my defense matrix is to save somebody's life. Like if Mercy's in my pocket healing me, I'll defend her if somebody's trying to get on her. But other than give her enough time to get away. But other than that, and to block alts. But other than that, I very rarely use it. So making her more offensive is going to definitely change when and how she's used. It'll probably make her more popular in some of the comp modes too, because she's a tank and now she'll be able to deal a little bit more damage. The next one is Mercy. And
Mercy.
They are really putting the screws to Mercy because,
oh my goodness, she's like a completely different character now.
Yeah, so everybody knows. You got the point captured, you get the team kill, you get the wipe, and nobody's out there. Next thing you know, heroes never die. Just standing in front of your face.
Right.
Lose your point. That is no longer going to be a thing.
Nope.
They're taking that res, and is no longer an ultimate ability. It's now a standard ability, I believe, with a 20-second cooldown. And
only one character at a time.
One character at a time. No more multi-reses. And they're replacing that with an ability called Valkyrie. And what Valkyrie does is, 1, it allows her to fly. 2, it gives her unlimited ammo. 3, it boosts her damage. And then for her healing and damage streams, it makes them give them greater range, and it allows them to chain to multiple characters. So she can send her healing stream and heal 2 or 3 or 4 people, depending on how far apart they are, or do a damage boost. There's already calls for changes. I don't know if you've seen the video. I've only seen it in a GIF. I couldn't find the actual video, but there's a play where she pops that Valkyrie and she wipes 4 people like that. She's flying in the air, pulls up, because she doesn't have to reload, and she has a damage boost. So she's just her. If you're not played against Mercy, or if you're not a Mercy main that does battle Mercy, her gun does a lot of damage. That thing hits hard as hell. So she gets a damage boost, and she's flying in the air. She's ultra mobile, and you really can't get her, and she just drops hell on your face. So that's probably going to be changed because she's doing too much damage. But ultimately, Mercy is getting a huge change. I don't know what to think of it.
Well, until they have like a cemented idea on like how she's gonna function, I think the main thing to take away from it is like no more multi-reses, like no more like you kill the entire team and then snap your fingers and like everybody's right back where they were.
I've done that to people. I heal. I use Mercy mostly, and I've gotten those 4 people res on the point where people thought they had it capped. Yeah, I've done it. It's
a beautiful
it's cool thing when you do it. It's not cool when it's done against you.
No.
So I'm interested in getting my hands on Mercy. I'm so close to maybe getting Overwatch on PC so I can get into PTR, so I can test this stuff out.
You'll have it on every platform at that point.
At that point, I would. Yeah. If I catch a sale on it, I might wind up doing it. But I don't know if I catch a good sale. I wish they will allow you to
transfer your save data or something.
Yeah,
or your profile.
Your profile. Yeah, across platforms, single profile across all platforms. That'd be cool.
That would be dope.
Yeah, but I digress. And then the last thing is what they're making changes to competitive seasons.
Right.
Currently, competitive seasons are 3 months long. They're changing it to only 2 months. They're also going to decrease the rating decay. So instead of losing 50 points, you're only losing 20. Yeah, from losing 50 points, you're only losing 25. If you rank diamond or higher, you only have to play about 5 matches a week to maintain your ranking. And also, something that was a huge controversy over the last 2 seasons was the placement. Apparently, Blizzard made a change to where after your first 10 matches, they placed you slightly lower than you actually were, so you can feel like you're progressing faster. People didn't like that very much, so they're going to actually place you properly going forward, starting in season 6. So those are all of the changes so far. There's been no mention of any new characters, at least not yet. And they did release a May short. It's basically like a May origin story.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
I hate May, so I'm not gonna watch it.
I like May. I like it. It's awesome.
Yeah, but so a lot of changes coming to Overwatch, and like this game is just been able to maintain relevance like for quite some time. I mean, we've been talking about Overwatch. I feel like nonstop. Like every single week, there's something new coming to Overwatch, and with all of this news, we are guaranteed to keep talking about Overwatch. So we'll see what happens further down the line. But yeah, a lot of news regarding Overwatch. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story, and this one is actually interesting. This is a very interesting story coming from Australia. It appears that GameStop is actually going to start allowing for a rental service for their used games. It's actually being tested in Australia right now. And this is actually pretty cool and pretty funny, actually, because I worked for GameStop back in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, like when I was in high school. And this was something that employees could do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is something that employees could do, although you didn't have to pay for it. But you would basically sign out a used copy of any game, and then like you would bring it back, and then you can sign out another copy. So they're essentially allowing for customers to do this. Although being at a certain price point, so I believe it's about what, like $15 or something like that. Yeah,
it's $19.99 Australian, which translates to about $16 US.
Okay,
$16 US. I did read that they have to, if you sign up, you have to sign up for a 2-month commitment,
right?
And then after that is quit anytime, and it's one game out at a time. So apparently there was a thing where it had to be games under $50. But they changed that, so it's any game in the store. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it's basically a physical version of GameFly, right?
Yeah.
You pay a monthly fee, you rent a game, play it as much as you want, then return it and get something else. I mean, GameFly. And
then there's always the opportunity that somebody returned a brand new game, so that there's always a chance that you can just rent a brand new game.
Yeah, you can go out and grab Mario versus Rabbids or whatever came out this past couple of weeks. I mean, and I always wonder why people would buy a game, and I've gone into GameStop and see games on the shelf used the day of release. I'm like,
I don't
how's
get it.
that? Why did you even bother? I mean, did you just get caught up in the hype or what? But
yeah, I will say that I have bought some games on day one and just did not want that game anymore. Although I did it with Amazon, so I was able to get a full refund. So I have seen that where people have gotten burned by games, and they'll just go back to GameStop and try to get anything for it back. Because the value for the trade-in value for the game decreases over time.
Right.
So if you hate a game and you bring it back on day 2, you're more likely to get some more money back for it than
Right.
than waiting for the reviews to come out and then like them actually having an idea of how much it's worth and giving you $5 for a for a $60 game.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. But I find this interesting. It's harkening to me like the days of Blockbuster. Because remember when Blockbuster was on his last legs, they offered monthly rental service.
Yeah, they tried doing something like this.
I think it was like $14.99 for just movies, and then an extra $2 or $3 if you wanted to add games. It was the same thing. You take it one game at a time, play as long as you want it, return it for something else. Which I don't know. It seems to me that GameStop sees the writing on the wall. A lot of this,
very possible. A
lot of stuff is going digital. I mean, they talked about their earnings. They blamed their lackluster earnings on Microsoft, saying Microsoft's slow Xbox sales and slow software sales is why they're slow. I think there's more to it than that. I mean, I think Microsoft may be a possibility, but the thing is, this is what I would say to counter that is. Last year there was no Switch. This year there's Switch, and they're selling a ton of Switch sales. And Microsoft hasn't slowed down that much to where the sales they're getting from Switch is not covering what they would have gotten from Microsoft. So right. I think that's BS. I think they're losing on outside competition from Best Buys and Amazons and all those guys, but also they're losing on digital only sales.
Yeah, digital sales. And then like everybody else is also doing like these like rental services or like monthly like the Games Pass.
Right. Game Pass
and then the
PS Now.
Yeah.
GameFly.
Exactly.
And I mean, you can still get games from Redbox. I just saw one the other day. I was like, those things are still around, but yeah you can still get stuff out of Redboxes.
I saw Fallout New Vegas available in Redbox. I'm like, New Vegas?
But yeah, I think it's more to that. And I mean, it's not like they're sitting on tons and tons of used stock.
Exactly.
And they need to do something with it to monetize it because people aren't buying that much anymore.
No. And remember, we talked about a story a little while ago where they were thinking about opening up kind of like retro style like stores.
So they did open a couple, right? Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard much about it since then, but they have tons of games, and for a long time they would throw them away. Like you would see people like, and this is coming from an ex-employee, you would catch people dumpster diving for used games in the garbage.
Behind
GameStop because like at a certain time the game's trade-in the value of the game is like less than a penny.
Right.
And, especially for some of these like especially for sports games.
Oh yeah, like the yearly Maddens.
The yearly Maddens, the NBA 2Ks and the NBA Lives and the FIFAs. Those games, deteriorate in value so quickly. So it's like nobody is going to buy this
2015 FIFA when 2018 just came out, right?
Nobody's gonna buy it. What are we gonna do with it? They throw it away. Yeah. People go and they get them.
Yeah,
you can look it up on YouTube. GameStop dumpster diving. It is a thing. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh no, my stomach.
I'm trying to tell you. It's real.
Yeah, but this is interesting. It'd be interesting to see if they bring this over anywhere else outside of Australia. They may have a special market in Australia where this will work, where it may not work in other places. But
at a cheaper price point, I could see it working. Maybe not $15. Maybe like $10 a month. I don't know, like maybe if you have like a power-up reward card or whatever, it could be a little cheaper. Right. They need to do something because nobody... And see, here's the other thing. Who the heck is gonna get up and go to the GameStop and look in their inventory and see... Like, nobody wants to really do that, in my opinion.
This is what I'm going to say. And this is probably why... Part of the reason why at least new sales are going down. I like to pre-order digitally because I know... The day of, at 12:01, I'm playing my game.
Right.
If I go into GameStop and get the game, I have to bring it home. I have to install it. I have to do the day one update. I have to do all that stuff was already done for me. When Destiny 2 launches on September 5th, Tuesday, I don't have to do anything. Right. All I do is boot it up and I'm off and running. So yes, I prefer digital, especially when the games are getting larger and larger. To get the day one updates, you got to spend time to install the game. You got to spend time to download the day one. I mean, you're lucky to play the game after 2 or 3 hours of your first purchase. I mean, first
Yeah.
putting it in, I should say. Screw that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like a cool idea, but it's like how many people still own those consoles? That how many people still have their 360? Not a lot of people. I mean, well, you can play a lot of games backwards compatible right now.
No.
But unless you have an actual physical PlayStation 3 or like a physical PlayStation 2, like I don't really know how you're gonna play a large majority of the games that they could possibly be trying to rent out to people.
Right.
Like nobody's holding on to hardware like that anymore.
Nope.
But it's definitely interesting. It's a kind of like out of left field when it comes to GameStop. I do not see these guys lasting for that long. They
need to pivot. They definitely need to pivot.
Yeah, they need to do something because digital game sales are definitely going to kill these guys. And for all the people out there that halted the Xbox One's progress, with wanting your used games. Here we go. It looks like it's not going to be a thing after all.
Yeah.
Xbox was trying to future proof. that's my term.
We told you.
Yeah,
they told you.
They told you. Yeah.
This is the thing I say about that. If it weren't for them, I can be buying physical copies from GameStop and still be walking around and game sharing and playing without keeping the physical copy.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I don't bother with it, because I game share.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully this works out. It'll be interesting to see it in other markets. I personally don't think this is gonna last.
This product,
GameStop in general.
I agree that they're going the wrong way. They are too on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, yeah. But we have one more story for you guys, so let's go ahead and jump into it. What we got?
We got some Injustice 2 news going on here.
Oh yeah.
So Injustice 2, if you're unfamiliar, they announced when it was released that they're going to have 9 new characters coming out. They did the first 3, and now they have the second 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they have Black Manta. They have
Raiden,
who's a DC villain. They have Raiden of Mortal Kombat fame, and then they have Hellboy. That's
Hellboy.
Right. Hellboy. Not what's his face? What was the dumb dude's name? Ron Perlman. But they do have Hellboy. So Hellboy is coming to Injustice 2 with Raiden and Black Manta. There was actually they showed off gameplay for Black Manta today on their Twitch channel. I'm pretty sure it's over by now.
Mm-hmm.
I may have missed it, but the archive may still be up there for you to go check it out. But it's interesting to me that they will cross over and bring in Hellboy as opposed to another DC character. I mean, I understand the Mortal Kombat character. I don't have a problem. But Hellboy, I mean, really?
I don't know. Hellboy's pretty popular. I mean, he's one of the premier Dark Horse Comics characters. He had, a couple of movies that, did, significantly well. I think Hellboy fits in perfectly with the Mortal Kombat universe.
I guess, yeah. Cause
not Mortal Kombat, but the Injustice universe.
Yeah, he is that dark character. Yeah. He's cool. I don't have any real opinion about it. I just found it weird that it's just Hellboy, because again, I guess it didn't come out of left field because they did a crossover comic series with Hellboy in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is not new for the DC universe having Hellboy in their midst. So I guess it's cool. If you have the season pass or the deluxe edition, you'll be getting this for free, getting these characters for free, the second fighter pack. They didn't say when the characters would be available. They just said they would be. They're coming. Those are the next 3 characters. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about Injustice 2. Do you have it?
I don't have it.
You don't?
I thought that it might be something I wanted to play, but I was not a fan of the original Injustice. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't a fan of Mortal Kombat X either. So as time has gone on, when it comes to fighting games, NetherRealm is kind of just like lost me as a customer.
Right. I was a big fan of the first one. I just can't bring myself, mainly because the fighting games and the amount of time you have to commit to it to actually be good. I just don't have that time, or not even not necessarily have that time. I don't want to put that time in it.
Yeah.
So
I haven't just haven't been a fan of the NetherRealm games in a in a long time. I did enjoy the first Mortal Kombat under the NetherRealm's moniker, Mortal Kombat 9, but after that was pretty much the last one for me. But it is cool. You have to appreciate what they're doing as far as like the crossovers are concerned. And we've been talking about crossovers this entire episode. There's been a lot of companies just like reaching out and bringing in other characters from other universes into their series. So I do appreciate what Injustice is doing. Raiden looks pretty cool, although his costume is a bit much. I don't know who designed that outfit for Raiden.
They went over the top with it. Yeah, definitely went over the top.
I'm not really feeling that, but Black Manta is somebody somebody that's not super into comic books may have heard about through the Young Justice cartoon series. That was my first introduction to Black Manta, so it seems like he's gaining a bit of popularity. So bringing him in doesn't seem too out of left field, and quite honestly, when they showed off the silhouettes, like it was clear that which one was Raiden and which one was Black Manta.
Yeah, for sure. We knew they were coming.
We knew those two.
If we go back and look at the silhouettes, there's no Hellboy one that's looking like that.
Yeah, nobody. I didn't see. I could not call a Hellboy out. I could not point out Hellboy from those silhouettes if I tried. But it's pretty cool that they're getting these crossovers, and Injustice 2. Hopefully, it has a long life cycle. No word, like you said, no word on when these characters will be playable. But they did show off Black Manta today, and he seems pretty cool. I mean, and it's actually pretty awesome to have another Atlantean in the game.
That's true.
For the longest time, Aquaman was like the Atlantean. He's like the only one.
Always in any of the DC stuff for the most part.
DC comics, cartoons, whatever. Is
any of the main DC stuff. Yeah, it was always Aquaman and nobody else. That's right.
Right. So it's cool to kind of just like branch out to other races in the DC universe and like give those guys a shot. But me personally, it doesn't mean too much to me because I haven't played Injustice 2. I mean, I've dabbled. My brother owns it, so I played a couple matches with him, but not something that I'm super interested in. But the crossover is cool.
Yeah, the crossover is cool. Yeah, and I'm looking at the silhouette. I guess there's one guy is just to the right of Black Manta. That I guess it could be Hellboy. It kind of has looking horns on it, but it doesn't seem like he's big enough. Like I don't know.
Well, they're actually going with like the more comic book style for Hellboy rather than using like the movie like big bulky version. Like he's pretty slim.
Yeah, but he wears a trench coat, right?
Oh, true that.
Yeah, the character that's next to Black Manta is clearly not wearing a trench coat. And there's a big dude against Raiden that's clearly not him either. I think that looks like could be a cyborg or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But so if you haven't checked the gameplay, it should be preserved like on the Twitch channel. Yeah. The
Twitch event was at 4 p.m. Pacific, so about 7 p.m. So if it was less than an hour, if it's an hour or less, it's done.
Yeah.
But now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be up on YouTube pretty soon as well. So, check it out, I guess.
Yep, check it out. Especially if you're an Injustice 2 guy.
Yeah, if you're an Injustice 2 guy, check it out. 3 very cool characters. Yeah, or girl, yeah. But with that said, that is going to end our top 5 news stories. Let us know what you guys think. Whether it was on the Injustice story or if it was on, any of the stories that we talked about today, let us know what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We would love to know and, debate us in the comment section. It's one of our favorite pastimes. We love engaging with you guys. So let us know what you think about the stories. And also, as always, you can submit stories to us via our social media. So go ahead and let's get this discussion going. The conversation doesn't stop after the podcast is over. So let us know what you think and engage with us. And let's get the discussion going. But let's go ahead and transition into our next segment, which is going to be the long form discussion. And today we've been talking a lot about crossovers. We have the Hellboy and Injustice. We have an Assassin's Creed event in Final Fantasy,
and we have Mario and Rabbids.
So 3 crossover stories that we had today, and I kind of wanted to elaborate on that a bit and just talk about some unlikely crossovers in games, things that you never would have saw coming, and kind of just like maybe give some predictions on stuff that we could possibly see in the future. So let's just go down the let's just talk for a bit. When it comes to unlikely crossovers, being a 90s kid, and we actually talked about this slightly in a icebreaker. The Mario and Sonic crossover is probably one of like the biggest ones.
Huge, because they were bitter rivals, right?
They were bitter rivals, for the longest time. For them to come together in the Olympic Games series was definitely something. And I didn't know this for the longest time, but it was actually Sega that developed those games. So that's another title, in which Nintendo gave up the rights, or not the rights, but gave over their intellectual properties to another studio. So right. Because we talked about that earlier today, with what they're doing with Ubisoft, just giving somebody else control of their IPs. So that's another unlikely crossover. What's one that was unlikely for you, as you could think of?
I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, one that's always caught me, I always find it weird, was the Soul Calibur crossovers when they added the Star Wars and then Link.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, because those are kind of just like out of left field. I mean, I understood the Link inclusion because when you had the each individual platform versions, all of them had like a specific character. So PlayStation had Heihachi from Tekken. Xbox had Spawn. I don't really understand that one.
Yeah, because he's green. I
guess because he's not even that green. I mean, he has plasma energy. I don't know.
And then Link, and then there was Yoda and Darth Vader for PlayStation and Xbox.
That was in Soul Calibur 4?
4, yeah. It was the one after the Heihachi.
No, that was 2.
Was that 2?
Yeah.
So then there were 3 then, weren't they? I thought it was the one directly after.
No. There's multiple games.
2 and 4.
It was 2 and 4. I don't think that we had third-party characters in Soul Calibur 3.
No, it was 2 and 4.
Yeah, 2 and 4.
Link, Spawn, and
Heihachi.
And then Darth Vader, Starkiller, and Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's super interesting because the Star Killer inclusion was his gaming premiere. Did you know that?
Yeah, it was just before.
Before The Force Unleashed came out.
Force Unleashed came out, yeah, I remember that. That was a big story, right?
Yeah, that was huge. It's like, who the hell is this apprentice guy? And then, Then it placed learned to use this name Starkiller.
Starkiller, yeah. And then like one that we talked about earlier this year, and we talked about even today, was the Final Fantasy crossover with the Final Fantasy car going into Forza. Mm-hmm. That was unexpected. And again, it's something that doesn't seem like it would fit, right? Who wants this big limo convertible thing into racing? But apparently they stuck it in there, and I have both games. I still haven't touched that to see what it was like. Maybe I'll do it after the show.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, but how does it control though?
Right. How does it ride?
how does it ride?
Big beast ride, right? But yeah, I mean, you got Shovel Knight and Ukulele. I mean, there's a lot of odd stuff that just shows up out of nowhere. When they started putting Akuma in Tekken, that was another one that.
I wouldn't call it an unlikely crossover because we had the entire game with Street Fighter cross Tekken, with everybody that crossed over with both series. But I think the way that they included Tekken, included Akuma into Tekken 7 was kind of unlikely because they just like inserted him into like the history and lore of the Tekken universe. Because spoilers, if you haven't played the Tekken 7 story mode, apparently Heihachi's like demon wife kind of just like summoned Akuma to come and kill him.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like he because the story is Heihachi killed his wife because she was a demon, And then, since Kazuya is half demon, that's the reason why he threw him off the mountain, because he wanted to kill him, because he was a demon. And, once Hahachi's wife, returned to hell, she kind of just like, summoned Akuma, is like, go kill Hahachi. And that's how he is in the Tekken universe. It's very unlikely. I thought that he would just be a guest character, but he's actually like super important in the story. It's kind of weird.
That's interesting. That's super interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's super interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like crossovers. I like, especially when they're really cool characters. I mean, Akuma's a cool character. Any Star Wars characters in any game, I'm going to play it. Whether if they put Darth Vader and Mario, I'll buy Mario so I can play Darth Vader and Mario, right? So, I mean, any of those cool crossovers, I like that. And the way it's going now, it seems like there's just seems to be a melding between a lot of unlikely partners. When you look at Mario Rabbids and you look at Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed, and you look at I keep going back to Tekken, Street Fighter, because in my mind they are rival games, right? There's Street Fighter as a fighting game, there's Tekken as a fighting game. Which one is better? And remember, Street Fighter came out with Street Fighter EX, right? That was their 3D version, so they can compete with the Tekkens and the virtual fighters at the time, and that type of stuff. So when I see stuff like that, it's super interesting. Somebody is giving up something to get these things, get these cameos and these crossovers together, put these together. But I like seeing them. I definitely like seeing them, and there's quite a few I would love to see going forward.
Yeah, you know what? I can definitely commend Nintendo, because they make a spectacle out of their third party inclusions in different games. They make it into it's almost like an event. Back when Super Smash Bros. Brawl was coming out, you had no idea, because the internet wasn't as as massive of a thing that it is today. Back in 2008, right? Everybody wasn't as interconnected. It wasn't a whole bunch of news out there or news outlets out there. So when you heard the news, it had that impact, and Nintendo was very good at just punch you in the face with something like amazing. And even with Smash Brothers for the Wii U, they made a huge deal out of their third party inclusions, and even allowed for people to voice their opinion, like who should be in the game. They continue to come out with new ways of just shocking people, just surprising people, giving them what they want as far as crossovers are concerned. So definitely have to commend Nintendo on that, because in 2016, 17, or whenever those characters were released, 2016, they were still able to surprise people, and that's saying something.
That's saying a lot, right?
That's saying a lot right there.
Definitely. So going forward, what type of crossovers, like something that would be like way out of left field? Now I know once upon a time, I remember this clearly, that I talked about a Halo Gears crossover. But what would you like, something that would be like way out of left field that you wouldn't expect? What would you like to see?
Oh, man. Well, anytime you kind of cross over multiple genres of games, it kind of just feels out of left field.
It gets messy, yeah.
It gets a little messy because going back to Smash Brothers, the inclusion of Solid Snake in Brawl, they didn't really know how to do it, because Metal Gear is an M-rated game. This guy has guns and knives and cuts people and does all types of madness. And the same thing with Bayonetta, with her over sexuality and whatnot.
Right, and it's in the with Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
And Princess Peach, right?
Yeah, you gotta make those characters fit in with other characters. I don't know. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but I think anytime you take two characters from different genres and connect them and make them fit together, I feel like that's amazing. It takes a lot of thought and a lot of time and effort to make that fit properly.
Right. So I have one, and
Okay,
it's not even a genre crossover. They're the exact same game, right? One is a man, one is a woman. If you do a Rise of Tomb Raider, a Tomb Raider Uncharted crossover.
Oh yeah, that's super unlikely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that would be cool if you can put those two together.
That would actually be very, very cool.
Right.
Because they're essentially the same game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just what I see in my head is you have a branching story, right? Mm-hmm. They both start off, and Drake is on this side, and Laura is on this side, and as they go through the story, they collide and go forward from there.
Yeah. That's a very solid like proof of concept. You guys over at Square Enix and Naughty Dog, you can have that one for free. We'll give you that one for free. No, that's actually really cool because I have been enjoying the Tomb Raider series since the reboot.
Oh yeah, the reboot. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't wait for Rise because start after November 7th. I'm going back to Rise because it's getting a 4K update. And boy,
yeah, that's right.
Those games are pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty game.
Yeah, pretty games. Yeah.
But I would like to see something like that. I mean, there's a few other ones that I can think of off the top of my head that's like that. But that's something I would love to see. Because like it seems like, especially with this latest Uncharted game, and the name slips me with the two ladies. But it seems like they're trying to move away from Drake. Like they're trying to. Yeah,
they've kind of just like they've told the story of Nathan Drake, right. So they don't want to end the franchise. But I feel like Nathan Drake's story is come to an end. It's come to
very close, if not to a complete end, very close to an end. And it'd be nice, like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, say, Laura, but I mean, a handoff with a known character would be cool.
Yeah.
Like so Nathan Drake's like, okay, I'm here. This is the end of Nathan Drake. They play a couple co-op missions, and then Nathan Drake is gone, and you finish it off with the new character and follow up that way. But I would like. Tomb Raider would be great, but any other character, I guess they'll do it solo on their own. But that's something I would like to see.
I didn't even think about that. That was awesome.
I can't think of it. Let's see. Yeah, that's the only well thought out one I have.
Yeah,
I mean, I can throw a bunch of names together.
Yeah, it's super unlikely.
Right, that's super unlikely, but that's something I would like to see. Maybe we will, but most likely we won't.
No, I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think so. Right. I'm sure the team behind Tomb Raider is all about it, but Naughty Dog.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
aren't they working on something now? What are they working on?
Who, Naughty Dog?
Yeah,
they're working on The Last of Us Part 2, right?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be a super good game. I can't wait for that to come out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, that's going to conclude our long form discussion. Let us know what you guys think, and I'm really going to harp on this. I want to know what unlikely crossovers you would like to see. You know, whether it's in any type of genre. I just want to know.
Rocket League Forza.
Rocket League Forza. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
Get like the fancy Forza generator Porsche Rocket League. What?
That'd be crazy. But yeah, let us know what you guys think, and what unlikely crossovers you would like to see. I'm curious as to what you guys can come up with. But yeah, that's gonna end our long form discussion. We're gonna go ahead and move into our final segment, which is our final thoughts, where we just retrace our steps and talk about give our final 2 cents on the stories that we talked about today. So Boogie, why don't you go first? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Telltale going to Switch. I think Switch is a very good platform for Telltale games, especially with it being portable. Because choose your own adventures, not super involved, and you can walk around and take it with you and play it. That's cool. Mass Effect. I didn't believe in for a second that Mass Effect would never come back, and I mean this is just verification of that. The Mario's versus Rabbids season pass. I'm interested in that game. I'm still not sold on Nintendo and their season passes, so we'll see what goes on with that going forward. The Final Fantasy Assassin's Creed crossover is almost about that much from getting me to go back to Final Fantasy for 15, but fuck that game.
God damn, shots fired.
Sony, I mean, you're on the wrong side of history here, guys. I mean, get your stuff together. I mean, cross-platform play is where it's going to be, and it's going to allow you to move on to the future. Just because at some point, just having exclusives is not going to be enough. On the September Games for Gold lineup, I think is very strong this month. With the Oxenfree, then the two super classic games with Forza and Hydro Thunder, and then Battlefield 3. I think those are all solid games. Overwatch is big changes upcoming. It's interesting that is upcoming just as the professional league is starting.
Yep.
But yeah, it's Mercy and Diva are not Mercy and Diva anymore.
Yeah.
The rental service for GameStop, I feel they have to do something because, again, they are with Sony on the wrong side of history. That physical used game stuff is going to go away sooner than later, and they're trying to pivot to another business plan. And new Injustice 2 characters with the Hellboy, it fits. I'm just surprised. I mean, there's other DC characters I think that they could have brought instead of Hellboy, but Hellboy is at least an interesting character.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really think that Telltale should, release their entire backlog of games onto the Switch. I feel like that'll just be a waste of like money and resources at that point, because anybody who wants to see or see those stories, experience those stories, has probably already done so. So going forward, good idea. Retracing their steps, I think that's a bad idea on Telltale. They probably won't do that. I had no doubt in my mind that we would get a new Mass Effect, one of these days. Super unfortunate the way that the Andromeda cycle has ended. But that doesn't not mean by any means that Mass Effect is over. It's right. Way too highly regarded. I mean, like I said before, we have an N7 day, so they're not done with Mass Effect. Super excited for Mario plus Rabbids, but I will not be getting the season pass until I actually get my hands on the game and can determine that it's something that I want to continue playing. I mean, because if the initial game is enough for me, if I feel satisfied after that, then I'll just pass on it altogether. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this game. Like I'm good. I don't need it. That's my mindset when it comes to season passes. Yeah. And man, all these crossovers, it's crazy. A little out of left field as far as the Assassin's Creed, but I mean, it could just be like a cross promotion type thing.
Right.
Maybe we'll see some more cross promotion type stuff when it comes to Ubisoft and Square Enix games. That's something that we're going to have to wait and see. Like you said, Sony's definitely on the wrong side of history as far as blocking cross platform play. I really think it's what the players want. And if what we want can't drive Sony to make changes, then people are just going to go somewhere else. Yeah, because like we're the ones that you're trying to sell to. If you can't appease your consumers, the customers, then they're going to buy something else.
Yep.
And it's sad because they have such a strong platform with all the exclusives, for them to disappoint consumers by halting progression.
I think is more holding people hostage than anything.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that. But yeah, they definitely need to get it together. Solid games for the Games for Gold. 2 out of 4 will be downloaded by me, most definitely. I may try out Forza just to see how pretty it, see the prettiness, see the pretties. Yeah, I might take a look at the pretties. We got to chuckle out of Yanni. Cha-ching, we in there. We are hilarious. But anyway, a lot of news out of Overwatch. I still haven't picked up that game. The Junkertown map looks amazing. I may have to pick it up I'm gonna have to pick it up one of these days.
You haven't even touched Doomfist.
I haven't even touched Doomfist. No.
Or Orisa. Have you played Orisa?
Nope.
Even?
Oh, well, I've played the game since she's been released.
Okay.
But I have not touched her at all, which is bad. I'm a terrible Overwatch. It's a game that I love, but I don't play it. I mean, Overwatch is the only game that I like a lot that not play, so I don't feel too bad. GameStop. I don't think that this is a bad idea. I just don't think that it's going to work for them. You know, the retail, physical copies are going the way of the dodo. You know, sooner or later, it's just a matter of time. So
and they don't. I don't consider GameStop a consumer favorite brand either.
No, yeah, because the trade back value, man. I don't know how many times as an employee that I have broken somebody's heart, telling them that a game that they bought 2 weeks ago is only worth $10.
That's crazy.
It's bad. Insulting. It is insulting, and GameStop has garnered a lot of conversation as far as like the compensation from the trade-in value. Like it's just a bad business model, man.
I told you my PS4 story, right?
Yeah. So we already heard that.
It's horrible.
So yeah, GameStop, they need to make some drastic changes. I don't think that this is a terrible decision. I just don't think it's going to help their cause.
No,
it's not going to line them pockets like they once did. And as far as the Injustice 2 characters, Hellboy seems like a very solid inclusion. His design looks really cool. Looks like he's straight out of the comics. I want to see his moveset.
Yeah,
I want to see what he can actually do. So the sooner we can see some gameplay, the sooner I can invite my brother over here. Like, yo, you got that Hellboy? Yeah, let's go a couple rounds, because I don't think I'm ever gonna buy the game.
Does he have it digitally?
Yes.
So
he came over and we were able to play it off of his profile.
Yeah.
So he must have it like digitally.
Yeah.
Because like he just basically
logged in,
and then we were able to play it.
Yeah.
So that was that's actually really cool. I like.
I blame the trolls for not allowing that with physical copies, because that's what Microsoft wanted for you to carry your games with you, whether they're physical or not.
Like on your controller, like as your profile would be like on your controller. That was like the craziest thing I've ever heard of. But yeah. People. Yeah, so that was our final thoughts. Let us know what you think down in the comment section. Wherever you are consuming this media, we appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching us live, shout out to the chat. We definitely appreciate you. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting app, we definitely want to appreciate you, because you're taking us on the go wherever you want to go. You got a weekly gaming news show right in your ear. You're on the bus, you're on the train, you in school. The school's about to start back up, so you're gonna need something to listen to while you're ignoring your teacher. So we definitely want to appreciate you. And Boogie, why don't you let them know where they can listen to us exactly?
We're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on TuneIn Radio, and we're in the general podcasting directory. If you use any kind of podcatcher, you can catch us there by searching our call letters, AWGNS, or A Weekly Gaming News Show. Go to iTunes, go to Google, go to TuneIn, and rate us, leave us comments. That's all I ask.
Rate us, leave us comments, let us know what you think, and debate us. Most importantly, debate us. We want to know what you guys think.
Definitely. I debate myself, so I definitely would debate you.
Yes. Yeah, and pick our brains, man. We love answering questions. So get at us. We are available. We are on Twitter. We are at AWGamingNS. We are a weekly gaming news show, or you can use the call letters AWGNS on Facebook. And if you go to tinyurl.com/AWGamingNS, that is us on YouTube. We do not have a custom URL yet. We are very small, but we're trying to grow. We're getting stronger. I feel like we've perfected this format, and there will be changes coming soon. Season 2 will happen
at some point.
At some point in time, we'll have a season 2 overlay, and we plan on making some really cool changes to the podcast, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. And definitely subscribe to us on YouTube, because we have the weekly gaming, the weekly news 10 and 10, which gives you like a snippet as to what's going to happen in the a full
Yeah.
podcast.
It's typically a 10-minute or less preview of what we're going to talk about on Sunday night.
Right. So if you don't have an hour and a half to sit down and enjoy it, you can at least get your news in about 10 minutes.
Take 10 minutes to catch up.
Take 10 minutes and catch up. Yeah, that's what it's all about. But I think that's about it. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. We are a weekly gaming news show, and finally, we once again we want to thank you, and we will catch you all next week. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd,
and we are out of here.
Peace.